The first time it happened, I told myself it was a mistake. I was standing near my ranch gate early in the morning, checking fence lines after a storm, when a red SUV came speeding down the dirt road. Before I could react, it slammed straight through my wooden ranch gate. Wood cracked, dust exploded into the air, and deep tire tracks tore through my land like scars. The driver didn't even stop. That gate wasn't decoration. It marked the clear boundary between my private ranch land and a nearby HOA-controlled neighborhood that had been built only months earlier. My family had owned this ranch long before the development existed, long before paved roads, streetlights, and HOA rules. At first, I replaced the gate and installed clear signs. Private property. No trespassing, ranch land. 2 days later, the same red SUV came back. This time, I stood right beside the gate. The driver slowed down, rolled the window halfway, and looked at me like I was the problem. That was my first encounter with her. "HOA Karen." "Well," she said sharply, "are you going to move this gate or not?" I told her calmly that this was private land and she had no right to drive through it. She laughed, waved her hand dismissively, and said, "The HOA uses this route. It's faster. You'll get used to it." Then she hit the gas and drove through anyway. From that moment on, it became a daily nightmare. Karen didn't just drive through my ranch, she encouraged others. SUVs, sedans, delivery vans, even rideshare cars began cutting straight through my land like it was a public road. The grass was destroyed. Fence posts loosened. My cattle grew anxious every time engines roared past them. I contacted the HOA. No response. I sent emails. Ignored. I showed up at an HOA meeting with printed property surveys and camera footage clearly showing Karen trespassing. She sat at the front table, HOA board president, arms crossed, smiling like she already knew how it would end. She watched the footage and shrugged. "It's just a gate," she said. "If you don't want cars going through, you should have built something stronger." People laughed. I didn't. I installed a stronger gate. A heavier lock. More cameras. Karen broke through it anyway. Then came the incident that pushed me over the edge. After a heavy rainstorm, Karen came speeding through once again. This time, the ground was soft. Her SUV hit the gate, snapped part of it, and the front end dropped straight into the mud. Smoke poured from the hood. She jumped out screaming, blaming me, threatening lawsuits, shouting about HOA authority while my land was being destroyed in front of my eyes. That was the moment I stopped trying to reason with her. Instead of arguing, I called my lawyer. I had my property lines resurveyed. I pulled permits. I documented everything. Every tire track. Every broken gate. Every video clip. Then I called a contractor. 2 weeks later, trucks arrived at my ranch entrance carrying heavy steel posts. Not decorative barriers. Not flimsy fences. These were industrial-grade steel bollards, thick, reinforced, and designed to stop vehicles completely. They were installed deep into concrete, perfectly aligned within my property boundary. Wide enough for my ranch equipment when authorized, but absolutely impossible for Karen's SUV, or any other unauthorized vehicle, to squeeze through. From a distance, it looked like a fortress. From Karen's perspective, it was a dead end. She showed up the very same day the work was finished. I watched from my porch as her red SUV slowed down, then slammed on the brakes inches from the steel bollards. She tried turning the wheel. Forward. Reverse. Forward again. Nothing. She got out of the car and exploded in rage. She pounded on the gate, screamed that this was illegal, and threatened to shut me down. I walked out calmly and told her one sentence. "You are not allowed on my land anymore." She called the police. When the officers arrived, Karen launched into a dramatic speech about harassment, obstruction, and HOA authority. I stayed quiet until they asked for my paperwork. I handed it over. The officers reviewed the surveys, permits, and footage. Then one of them turned to Karen and said, "Ma'am, this is private property. You've been trespassing repeatedly." Her face went pale. The HOA tried next. Lawyers sent letters. Complaints were filed. Every single attempt failed. The evidence was overwhelming. The law was clear. And the steel wasn't moving. Within a month, HOA residents began questioning why their fees were being wasted on Karen's personal vendetta. She was quietly removed from the board. Today, my ranch is peaceful again. The gate stands strong. The steel bollards don't bend. The land is healing. My cattle are calm. Karen still drives by sometimes. She slows down, stares at the gate, then turns around and takes the long way home. And every time she does, I'm reminded of one simple truth. Some people don't respect words. They only respect boundaries, especially when they're made of steel.